Hello everyone, my name is Alex once again. Before I start the presentation, I would like to do a small exercise and ask everybody to just stand up for a second. Alright, I know that it's just the beginning of the day, everybody's very sleepy and they have had their coffee, but it takes 40 minutes until it kicks in. So make sure your hands are free. So leave laptops and phones. Alright, this is day 4 of this great event and we made it. We're great, we're here. So I'd like you now give a high five to 2 people around you and say, you're great. You're great. Great. Thank you very much. Now let's continue this exciting presentation. Alright. I will start off with a short introduction of the team. My name is Alex. I used to work for Google and I quit to start crowdholding together with Ethan. Me and Ethan worked together before on Kickstarter projects, which were quite successful, I may say, and that's where the idea of crowdholding came about. So when we were preparing our projects for Kickstarter, we didn't have enough money to promote the project once being on the platform, so in advance we decided we need to come up with an interesting strategy. What we did, we went on Quora, we went on Reddit, we started asking questions. We started asking our potential customers questions about how to develop the product better, how to make it better. What happened was we got a huge following of people months before we actually went to Kickstarter. And on the day we launched, we raised our money within our day. What that actually gave us is this great idea of crowdholding. It's the idea of actually gathering an active following of engaged users before you actually launch your project. Ask your customers how to build a better product. And actually, this idea inspired other great people. We have our COO, who was part of Skype before and is also helping us out right now. Our CTO comes from Oracle, and our blockchain architect has also developed a few projects before. What we've noticed is not many businesses are thinking about how to engage consumers in advance. They are starting off by creating their own research and development department, prototyping, not even talking to any of the consumers. But Forbes has confirmed that 90% of the businesses are actually failing because they're not in touch with their consumers. And what happens when they go to market is they start advertising. They start pushing massive amounts of money towards ads. But nowadays, consumer behavior changes. People start installing more and more ad blockers. There's over 200 million subscribers for AdBlock right now. What happens is people don't want to see your ads. Actually, when the person is on your website, he's 60% in the customer journey already. He already has researched about it. He doesn't want to see your ads afterwards. So what we came up with is this idea of bringing in customers before you actually launch your project and sharing the earnings of that project in advance. So how it works would be, for example, if you're a game developer, you just created your first prototype of the game. You come on a crowdholding platform and you dedicate a percentage of your future earnings, of the earnings of when the game goes to market and starts selling. In return, you're receiving great ideas of how to optimize the game, make it better, fix bugs, right? And in return, the users are receiving the token that is the essential fuel of our platform. With this token, the user can eventually support this game development company by reinvesting the token when they have an ICO, for example, or they can purchase the game when it's launched. That's why we are actually launching our ICO to develop, and as you've seen before, this requires us to attract both the startups, businesses, and the users. It's a massive amount of effort to attract both. And therefore, as you can see, most of the budget is actually going towards marketing and advertising. And it's, as I said, a huge amount of effort to do both. Another big point that I want to point out here, we're launching our ICO tomorrow, so we haven't launched yet. We have already closed successfully our pre-ICO and also have received early investments from funds and angel investors. I'd like to point out from the token distribution, 5% of tokens will be given to startups. I'll point out what exactly that means in the next slides. As I mentioned, most of the money will be spent on marketing and sales, and that's the part I'm responsible for. When I was working at Google, I worked with hundreds of advertisers and media agencies, and I saw most of the money is just wasted. Wasted on different intermediaries and channels that are not useful. Now we've created the full marketing mix, and we're spreading and using many channels for the last 6 months, attracting most of our users organically. How would the platform work? Right, so there's 3 phases. The first one, to ensure right after ICO the token actually has a value, we're giving the 5% I've mentioned before. 5% are going to the first startups to distribute to users and start their own projects. After that, we're moving to the phase 2. We're actually launching the revenue sharing part, and the part where businesses can actually raise money on our platform, already with the active following they have created before that. And the last stage is when we actually launch the marketplace and the projects that are on crowdholding start selling their products when they're ready. So what are the reasons to invest? Well, we have a vision of ensuring mutual prosperity for both businesses and society. We have the support of a big company such as BDO, which is the #5 consultancy agency in the world. Google Launchpad is also advising us. And at the same time, we have early investors and early customers already who are sharing their revenue. We've raised a significant amount of money, and we're looking to raise more with our ICO. Thank you very much, and you can find us on all these social channels.
We have a couple of minutes if any of our judges wanted to ask any questions.
Sorry for being too quick.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the rest of the team?
Of course. What I showed is 5 team members, which is part of the core, the executives. In total, we're 23 people currently based in Prague. The team consists of predominantly marketing and sales, as well as developers. We have lawyers and financial analysts part of our team. We're being advised by data scientists, as well as people who have PhDs in currency design, and people from Deutsche Bank and also other advisors. I would love to show them, but there would be more than 30 faces.